reproduction stage. The common diseases of goats include anthrax, brucellosis, tuberculosis, rinderpest, red water fever. Drug and vaccines should be administered at the appropriate time to prevent the outbreak of these diseases. So we can prevent them by giving the animals vaccines that will stop these diseases from coming on our goats. Now we'll be looking at questions from what we've been talking about. The first is the gestation period in dash is 3 months, 3 weeks, and 3 days. A, goats, B, cattle, C, pig, D, poultry. The number 2, pasteurization in cattle is called dash. A, kidding, B, calving, C, lambing, D, serving. Number 3, the best and richest milk is from dash. A, man, B, cattle, C, pig, D, goats. The number 4, boar is to pig as dash is to rabbit. A, doe, B, buck, C, ox, D, bull. The number 5, the number of mammary glands in pig is dash. A, 2 lines of 10 to 14, B, 2, C, 4, D, 8. The number 6, sore hawk is a disease of dash. A, cattle, B, goats, C, rabbit, D, pig. Now you have to choose an answer that best suits these questions, and the answers, number 1 is C, that is pig. The gestation period in pig is 3 months, 3 weeks, and 3 days. Then for B, parturition is called calving in cattle. Calving, that is option B. Then number 3, the answer is option D. The best and richest milk is from goats. Number 4, the answer is B, buck. Boar is to pig as buck is to rabbit. Then number 5, the number of mammary glands in pig is A, 2 lines of 10 to 14. So we have 2 lines of 10 to 14 mammary gland in pig. Then the last one there, the answer is C, that is rabbit. Sore hawk disease. Sore hawk is a disease of rabbits. Sore hawk is a disease of rabbits. So those are the questions before we move on to the next topic. And our next topic will be animal nutrition. Animal nutrition. Animal nutrition is the food given to farm animals generally, or animal nutrition is the act of feeding our farm animals, while livestock feed is the food that we give to our farm animals. Nutrition is the act of feeding animals, while the livestock feed is the food that we give to our farm animals. Farm animals need to feed for growth, repair of worn-out tissues, energy, and their general well-being. You know, in our elementary science, we said the characteristics of living things. You remember that feeding or nutrition is part of it. So that's why we want to look at feeding in our livestock. And we have classified our livestock feed into 4. Number 1 is the basal or energy feed, or what we call the carbohydrate concentrate. Then the second one is the protein concentrate. Then the third is the mineral or vitamin supplement. And the last one is what we call roughages. We have carbohydrate concentrate, protein concentrate, vitamin or mineral complement, then roughages. Now, talking about the carbohydrate concentrates, or what we call basal or energy feed. Carbohydrate concentrate is a feed that has crude fiber content less than 18%. The feed is very high in energy or starchy food such as maize and cassava. Energy feed is low in protein, mineral, and fiber, and it is highly digestible. Protein concentrate also has a crude fiber content less than 18%. However, it is high in protein, it is low in carbohydrates, fat, fiber, and minerals. It is also highly digestible. Mineral and vitamin supplements, they are required in small quantities in the feed of our animals. They supplement basal and protein concentrates. They are low in energy, protein, and fiber, high in vitamins and minerals. They aid food digestion and resistance to diseases. And minerals or vitamin supplements include minerals, vitamins, and essential amino acid. Now to the last class of animal feed, we have roughages. They are feeds that have crude fiber content more than 18%. They are high in fiber, they are low in digestible carbohydrates and protein. They have poor or low digestibility. Pasture plants such as grasses and legumes form what we call roughages. And roughages exist in different forms such as A, straw, soilage, and silage. So I'll be talking about A, straw, soilage, and silage. What are they made up of, and what difference or similarities do they have? And the first is A. A is gotten from the area part of a young and succulent grass or herbage cut and dried for feeding animals. That's A. It's gotten from the area part, that's the young part of a succulent grass. It is a cheap source of food for ruminant animals during the dry season, where green pastures are not easily available. So it is you've heard an adage that says you make hay while the sun shines. So the farmer goes into the bush to get your area part of young succulent grasses, he cuts them, he dries them, and feeds his animal with them during dry season where you don't easily find green grass available. Its nutritive value is higher. The nutritive value of hay is higher than that of straw. What is straw? Straw is the area part of grass or harvested crops that is cut and stored for future use. It is difficult to digest because the plants are cut after the crops have been harvested. Because the plants are already over matured, they are matured because they have harvested the crops, they now cut the plants, the part of the grass or the plant after you've harvested what you needed. So the remains of the plants are then cut, they are dried and fed to the animals during dry season. This doesn't really have nutritive value, it just serves to keep the animal alive. It's not really adding anything to the animal, but at least it will keep it alive. Like we say, it will keep the spirit and soul together. Now for soilage. Soilage, you get soilage by cutting fresh or succulent grasses and legumes from field and taking them to the animals in their pens. This is not a dry feed, it is fresh. You go to the bush, you cut it fresh, then you feed it to your animals. That's what we call soilage. They have high moisture content and nutrient because you don't dry them, it's fresh from the field. Then this soilage is referred to as zero grazing because the animals are not allowed to go out to field. You go out to do the cutting for them instead of them grazing around to get the succulent fresh grasses and legumes themselves. You as a farmer do that for them, so that's why it's called soilage. Then the last one is silage. Silage is the preservation of green and succulent forage crop under aerobic condition. And how do we prepare silage? You dig a pit to the size and depth that you want, then you cut pasture species at the right stage of maturity just before flowering and chop them into pieces. You spread them into the sun for about 1 day, then you line the inside of the pit with palm fronds, banana leaves or cocoyam leaves. Then you load the chopped and mixed pasture into the pit in stages. Then you compress each layer by rolling every substance over it to expel much of the air which can cause spoilage of the plants. Then you sprinkle dilute mineral acid after each layer. Then you deposit other layers and compress the layer each time the pit is full. Finally, you compress the heap. Then you spread polythene sheets or banana leaves over the heap to ward off water. You pack a heap of soil on top of the leaves or the polythene sheets that you use. Then you provide a shade for the heap. You leave it to ferment for a minimum of 2 to 4 weeks. So that's how you prepare your silage. Now, we're talking about the methods of preparing feed ingredients. We're talking about various feed ingredients and how we prepare them. And the first is blood meal. Blood meal. And it is prepared by collecting fresh blood from the abattoir, and you allow the blood to clot in the open. You know, when hair comes on blood, it will clot. You then eat the blood to reduce the moisture content and kill the pathogens present in the blood. After eating, the blood now in lumps is dried. After you have eaten it, then you go to dry it, then you crush it into powder, then you have your blood meal. Then the next meal is the fish meal. You can prepare fish meal by 2 methods: dry process or the wet process. In the dry process, you collect the fish fresh, then you dry it, you sun-dry it, or you smoke it to reduce the moisture content. After that, you grind it into powder. That's the dry process. For the wet process, you collect the fish, then you eat it with steam, and then you dry it before you crush it into powder. That is called the wet process. The next one is the groundnut or the palm kernel cake. You prepare that by collecting your groundnuts or palm kernels. Then you crush it and press to remove the oil. After you have removed the oil, you then press the remnants with machines to form cakes which are dried. For cotton seed meal, you collect cotton seeds, you grind them, you extract all